And then you have also the passion of the spiritual passions. So there are spiritual passions. For instance, people have desire for God. That's a human desire to know God. It's a natural inclination of the soul to know their Lord, because it's part of our fitrah, and it's one of the reasons and the primary reason that we were created. But that in and of itself can become excessive. So when it leaves the boundaries of the Sharia, when your search for God leaves the boundaries of Sharia, and you become excessive in something, for instance, total rejection of other people that aren't in pursuit of what you know to be true, things like that. Also, a type of extremism. إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْغُلُوَّ فِي الدِّينِ. Beware of extremism in the religion. Ghulu is from ghalaya, to boil over. Ghalayan, it's to boil over, where you become so zealous that you transgress the limits, because that's what boiling over is. You're going outside of the pot, right? I mean, everybody's had that experience in the kitchen when the soup or something suddenly goes over. You're wasting it now. The purpose was to cook it, but now something else has happened. It's boiled over, so something's gone wrong, and it creates a mess. And this is what happens when the religious appetite becomes excessive, extreme, where it's not within the constraints of the Sharia. So this is important to note, that what the Prophet ﷺ is telling us is that you have to be within the limits. That when your hawa is in accordance with the hudud that my tradition has laid down, then you truly believe. That's why لا تطروني كما أطرت النصارى عيسى ابن مريم. Don't go to excess about me like the Christians went to excess about Jesus. Because the Christians didn't do that out of hatred for Jesus. They did it out of love of Jesus. It was excessive love. Just like some of the Muslim sects that deviated said things about Ali out of excessive love for Ali. There's even a group that said he was God, an incarnate of God, which is one of the miracles of Islam. Because nobody has ever said in the history of Islam that the Prophet was an incarnate of God. The Prophet's protected from that. But Ali did not have that protection. So people said that about him. So the Christians went to that excess because of hawa. The hawa led to saying things about Jesus that were not true, but they didn't do it out of their lack of religion. They did it because their religion was excessive. لا تغلوا في دينكم. That's what Allah says to the people of the book. Don't go to excess in your religion. We're told to tell them that. To tell the Ahl al-Kitab, Ya Ahl al-Kitab, don't go to excess in your religion. Now, the assumption a priori is that you're not excessive in your religion, because أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do you call people to a thing that you yourselves aren't practicing? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us to tell the Christians, don't be excessive in your religion. The assumption is you're not excessive in your religion, because how can you tell other people? So learning about the Prophet ﷺ and learning about the respect and deference that is due to him is extremely important, because the Prophet has rights over us. He said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه. None of you truly believes until I am more beloved to him than his wealth, than his parents, his children, his wealth, and even his own soul that's between his sides. So the Prophet ﷺ said that our iman's not complete until we actually love him more than we love anything in the world that's precious, because he named the most precious things to people: their parents, their children, their wealth, and then their own self, right? Because people, you love yourself. I mean, Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. The assumption is that we love ourselves. That's part of human nature is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us love.